So, for the data types we're talking about this week, there are three main ones that kind of goes over in the notes and the text, and that would be primitive collections and objects. Um, and in terms of this translation to business data, um, it's pretty simple. I mean, primitive, numbers, text, date and time. That's kind of basic information arrays. A good example would just be um, data that explains, when an item was sold, so the date, um, and things like that. And um, with the collections, that is more of a concrete list, restricted data set. Um, and again, in terms of business, a good example would be a list of prices or items for a business that they're selling. And then with that, objects are a little more ambiguous. Um, it kind of takes the other two types of data and can store them in a larger format, which would be easier for a module to identify. Uh, so like instead of just the prices, it would have, the item price, uh, item name, and even possibly the date when it was received for inventory, and even potentially the time it was sold. When it comes to all of these aspects of data, it's important to remember that each one individually is just a bigger component of the system that the business is using in order to maintain or store the information and access it at a later date and utilize it for their day-to-day operations in their information system. So I kind of just wanted to talk about that briefly. I know for the most part everyone has kind of a basic grasp of those aspects of the data types, just because even now we have seen and interacted with those types of data arrangements and even utilized that in some of our previous assignments. So I just kind of wanted to discuss the kind of basic ties it has in terms of utilization with business and information systems.